Every day, this brave girl, 12, holds a hidden photo at the airport. Then an incredible twist is revealed. Mia stood in the sprawling terminal, her heart racing as she clutched the faded photo of her father tucked safely in her backpack. Each time her fingers grazed the paper, warmth surged through her. Her dad, a decorated veteran, had been deployed for nearly a year. She could almost hear his voice in her head, encouraging her. Today would be the day he returned. The airport buzzed around her, a chaotic yet beautiful symphony of families rushing to embrace their loved ones. Tears streamed down cheeks mixed with laughter. Every reunion felt electric. Every moment she witnessed only fueled her hope for her own reunion, but then, a sharp moment pierced through the joy. A group of teenagers snickered as they noticed her, the photo briefly peeking out from her bag. Just another military brat, one of them scoffed, laughter erupting around them. The words stung like a slap. Embarrassment twisted deep in her chest, but alongside it rose a fire. She had enough of their ignorance. Mouth dry, she stepped forward, heart pounding. "You don't know my dad," she started, her voice stronger than she felt. "He's not just some guy in uniform. He fought for our country." A hush descended, and heads turned. The teenagers quieted, confusion replacing their smirks. Encouraged by their sudden interest, Mia's determination exploded. She told everyone who would listen about her father's bravery, how he saved lives, and the way he always put others first. By the end of her story, she noticed eyes glistening. She felt the compassion swelling in the air around her. A small movement sparked. "Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen." Now let's continue. Mia turned, her heart dancing. Other families started sharing their own stories. Some were military, others just travelers facing tough times. Bonds formed in an instant among the crowd, hearts connected as stories emerged. Each vulnerable word held power, there was magic in their shared experiences. Yet, not everyone joined this newfound closeness. An unfriendly group lurked nearby, eyes narrowed. "You think everyone cares about your hero dad?" One of them sneered, and tension rippled through the crowd like a dark cloud. Mia's chest tightened, but she refused to yield. This was about her father and all families bearing the weight of sacrifice. She wasn't alone. Families began to rally, others shouting in support, fueled by her courage. Just as the energy surged, the airport echoed with an official announcement. It was time for the returning soldiers. Excitement electrified the air. Mia's heart thundered. Would she spot her dad among the wave of uniforms and tears? Every face she scanned sent a fresh wave of hope crashing through her, but with the moment came uncertainty. She squeezed the photo tightly, her fingers tracing the edges. This was everything, a meeting filled with long-awaited affection and joy. What if she could barely feel her own happiness amidst the rising wave of doubt? Would she achieve her dream tonight? She stood at the edge of the crowd, caught between longing and fear. The air thickened as a line of soldiers appeared, and Mia held her breath. Would the reunion she craved come true, or would she remain in the shadows, waiting for her moment to burst forth? Mia's heart raced as the line of soldiers marched closer. Their uniforms gleamed under the harsh lights, each step echoing in her chest. The tension wrapped around her like a heavy blanket. With each passing face, hope flickered and dimmed. What if he wasn't here? Would another day pass without his warm embrace? Then she spotted him, her dad. He stood amidst the throng, a mix of sweat and shadows casting across his face, searching for her in the same whirlwind she was lost in. Her breath caught as her heart soared. His eyes met hers, and time seemed to freeze. There was a moment of disbelief that transformed into sheer joy. He started moving towards her, a smile breaking through the fatigue and distance of months apart. "Daddy!" Mia shouted, a tide of emotion rushing through her. Without waiting, she dashed toward him, weaving through the crowd, ignoring the chaos around her. He dropped to one knee, arms wide open. Mia. His voice was filled with warmth, laughter, and love. The moment their arms locked around each other felt like magic. It was as if nothing else mattered, no more waiting, no more uncertainty. Just love, pure and overwhelming. Tears pooled in her eyes as she buried her face in his shoulder. The familiar scent, the musk of sweat mixed with the faint hint of gun oil, washed over her. I missed you so much, she whispered, her voice muffled but steady. I missed you too, sweetheart. You have no idea, he replied, lifting her chin with his hand, his own eyes brimming as he scanned her face. You've grown so much. My brave girl. Her heart swelled with pride. I told everyone how brave you are, Dad. They didn't understand at first, but then they listened. I showed them your picture. She fished it out of her backpack and handed it to him, feeling proud of the little spark she ignited in the crowd that he took the photo, gazing at it with a soft smile. That's me. His voice was laced with pride, and a flicker of something deeper crossed his face. Then, looking back at her, his expression changed, a shadow creeping in. There's something we need to talk about, Mia. I didn't just come back for this. There's more. Her stomach twisted as she felt the weight of his words, a sudden chill snaking through her cheerful moment. Was he okay? Worry creased her innocent brow. Before she could ask, the sound of applause erupted around them. Families all around Mia were celebrating their reunions, cheers filling the air like confetti. Yet the shadow of her dad's tone lingered like an uninvited specter. He squeezed her hand tightly, grounding her. Let's get you some ice cream first, okay? We'll talk after. Mia nodded, though curiosity gnawed at her insides. The thought of ice cream sounded heavenly, but her mind was still racing. What could possibly have him sounding so grave when they should be celebrating? As they walked through the bustling terminal, hand in hand, a wave of excitement swept over her. Ice cream would be nice, but what secrets lay beneath the surface of her dad's return? Mia could feel the storm brewing somewhere. Between sweet scoops and playful laughter, emerged a conversation that could change everything. And that uncertainty unraveling in her mind? It was just the beginning. They navigated through the throng of joyful reunions, laughter echoing off the terminal walls. Soldiers were met with teary-eyed spouses and ecstatic children, each embrace a testament to sacrifice and resilience. But for Mia, each joyous cheer twisted strangely in her stomach. She stole glances at her dad, searching for answers that remained just out of reach. Where to first? He asked, as they approached the ice cream stand, bright colors promising a sweet distraction. Chocolate chip cookie dough. She exclaimed, excitedly bouncing on her heels. The sheer thought of the cold, creamy treat mingling with the warmth of her dad made her heart skip. I'm all for that. He replied, his smile broadening, but then the fleeting look in his eyes returned. She caught a glimpse of the burden he carried, like a backpack stuffed with stones, and the realization bore into her thoughts as they waited in line. When they finally received their towering cones, Mia wasted no time digging in. Each lick transported her to the realm of bliss, if only for a heartbeat. However, even the sugary taste couldn't erase the tension wrapping around her heart. Dad, she began, her voice cautious, about what you said earlier. What is going on? He paused, the ice cream almost slipping from his hand. A flicker of turmoil crossed his face before he steadied himself. Let's enjoy this first. Okay. His tone was gentle, but it steered the energy back to their sweet moment. Okay, she sighed, feeling the weight of the world merge with the creaminess of melting ice. For a fleeting moment, she forced a smile to preserve the happiness so delicate and precious. As they wandered to a nearby bench, Mia took a deep breath. She needed this moment, to be just the two of them again, without secrets. But the laughter around her felt hollow. Each cheer, each squeal of delight only amplified the tension nestled between them. Mia, her dad started again, pulling her eyes away from the sunlit crowd. He took a lingering sip from his drink as if searching for words in the sweetness. "What I need to tell you, it's not easy." Her stomach twisted again, an uncomfortable knot tightening. "Just tell me, Dad. I can handle it," she said, a brave front for the little girl that wanted to stay wrapped in his arms forever. He looked down, momentarily lost in thought. The air grew thick with anticipation as he finally opened his mouth. "The truth is, things have changed for me, things we didn't expect. I might need to be away for a while again." The weight of his words fell like a stone in her chest. "What do you mean? You just got back." The joy of reunion started to blur with confusion, tears threatening to spill. "I know, babe. I'm so grateful for this time, but I've been reassigned." His eyes searched hers, darkened with concern. "I want you to know it's not my fault." She interrupted, her voice sharper than intended. The sting of his words evaporated the sweetness of their moment. "You just got home. Why can't things stay normal?" His expression softened, the warmth in his gaze losing some of its light. "I understand it's hard. I don't want to go either," but he hesitated, collecting his thoughts carefully. "Duty calls, honey. It's what I do." Silence fell between them, heavy and thick. Each bite of ice cream lost its taste, with cold remnants tumbling from her melting cone. The world seemed too loud and chaotic, and yet, it felt like they were caught in a bubble of despair. "Mia, whatever happens, I need you to be strong," he finally said, leaning closer. "Promise me you'll be the brave girl you've always been." Tears streamed down her cheeks unbidden, the ache spreading across her chest. She wanted to scream, to demand a life where brave didn't mean broken. Instead, she nodded as if that could seal away her fears. As they sat there, lost in thoughts and worries, Mia's phone buzzed, pulling her from the despair. She glanced down and gasped. A new text shone brightly on the screen, an invitation to an event so unexpected, she felt hope re-emerge, battling for a way back in. "Dad, I think something just happened. You're not going to believe this." What news could possibly reflect the turmoil they both felt? The glimmer of something new flickered in her chest, hovering between joy and uncertainty, ready to change everything once again. "Who is it from?" her dad asked, leaning over Mia's shoulder, his curiosity piqued but shadowed by concern. "It's from my friend Kelly," she replied, her thumbs scrolling faster than her heart could handle. "She's inviting me to a volunteering event next weekend. It's about making care packages for soldiers overseas. She says it will be like a big party, lots of games and stuff, and we get to meet some veterans." For a moment, the world around her faded. The image of her father, burdened yet still smiling, began to shift. "That sounds amazing, Mia," he exclaimed, his earlier sorrow giving way to a bright glimmer of excitement. "You've always had such a big heart. This could help you channel how you feel about my new assignment." "Yeah," she murmured, uncertainty creeping back in. "But, Dad, what if I can't handle it? What if it reminds me too much of you going away?" He placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "That's okay, too. It's good to feel, babe. You can talk to me about anything. I promise, I'll be here to support you. Just like you're supporting others." Mia swallowed hard, but the knot in her chest loosened a little. The thought of channeling her feelings into something positive sparked a flicker of warmth in her heart. "Maybe if I volunteer it might help me understand why you have to go back." "Exactly," he encouraged, a proud smile creeping across his face. "Sometimes, turning our pain into action opens doors we didn't even know existed." She felt the truth of his words settle within her, filling the cracks sadness had left behind. "I think I want to, I really want to do it. It could be powerful." A light erupted in his eyes, making her spirit soar. "Then let us do it. I'll help you prepare your presentation for school. It'll be a great way for other kids to get involved." Mia's heart lightened at the thought. Perhaps this was where she could find both purpose and solace. Beneath the momentary joy, however, a familiar heaviness lurked, the fact that volunteering wouldn't change the reality of her dad's looming departure. "Can I bring my photo?" she suddenly asked, a sense of yearning creeping back. It had been tucked away in her backpack, the picture of them together from last family vacation. The one where they laughed so hard, and his joyful smile echoed her own. The one from the beach last summer. It could remind me of the good times whenever I feel sad. Of course. His smile widened, relief washing over his features. "Bring it everywhere, okay? You can hold on to it whenever you need a little piece of home." Just like that, a flood of warmth washed over her as they discussed plans for the volunteering event. Mia couldn't shake the feeling that although this opportunity felt transformative, it also felt like it was cloaked in uncertainty. What if it wasn't enough? In the back of her mind, the unanswered question loomed: what if, despite her best efforts, nothing could fill the emptiness that his absence would leave? As their discussion faded into a comforting hum, Mia's gaze fell back to her phone. She hesitated, glancing at the notification bar. Another text from Kelly lit up the screen. "Oh, hold on." There was an urgency in her tone as she read it aloud. "Guess what?" she announced, excitement prickling in her chest. "She says there's a surprise guest at the event, a soldier who is coming to talk about his experience." "Dad, what if?" But in that moment, the air around them thickened again. The hope and joy she had just found wrapped around a new uncertainty. What if this soldier was someone her father knew, someone he couldn't talk about? What if he has to leave the same way you might? She whispered, the fear edging back in. "Let us find out," he said, meeting her gaze again. "Whatever comes next, we'll face it together." Mia inhaled sharply, the weight of the conversation still heavy. Something about that upcoming event felt like it held both promise and peril. With hope shining through the fear, she wondered what the day would unfold. "Should we still go?" she asked, uncertainty flickering in her voice. "Definitely." His voice was steadfast. Suddenly, a new message chimed in. Mia's heart raced as she read it. "And Kelly says she's organizing a tribute for families of veterans." It felt as though the world had shifted again. What unexpected revelations were waiting ahead? Would this event change everything again? Mia's thoughts swirled like leaves caught in a whirlwind. The idea of a tribute for families of veterans seemed overwhelming yet oddly comforting. She could picture the decorations, but more importantly, she could imagine others like her kids waiting for their parents, carrying the same heavy hearts but also the same flicker of hope. "Do you think it will be emotional?" she asked tentatively, brushing a strand of hair behind her ear, her voice almost a whisper. "I mean, will it bring up too many feelings?" Her dad took a moment, the seriousness of her question hanging in the air. "It certainly might, honey. But remember, it's okay to feel all kinds of emotions. That's what makes us human. You'll be surrounded by people going through similar things. You won't be alone." Mia nodded, wanting to believe him. But as the days went by, she felt the weight of anxiety settle into her bones. She found herself replaying the thought of the soldier, each idea swelling with both fear and curiosity. Kelly's upbeat texts tried to lift her spirits, but they often felt like a double-edged sword, a reminder of things yet to come. The day of the event finally arrived. Mia stood in front of her mirror, smoothing out her shirt. A small, fluttering excitement mixed with dread twisted her stomach. She picked up the photo, keeping it pressed against her chest. The sun spilled into her room, illuminating the happiness captured within the frame. Yet, she was terrified of the sadness it could also evoke. When they arrived at the community center, the atmosphere buzzed with energy. Families milled about, laughter punctuating the air. Yet, her heart felt heavy. Each face she saw seemed to remind her of the one she would inevitably miss. She squeezed her dad's hand, needing that connection, that unwavering reassurance. "Look over there," he said, pointing to the decorated table where volunteers were gathering supplies. "We need to find Kelly and get started." As they made their way through the crowd, Mia caught glimpses of kids her age, each smiling with an enthusiasm that felt foreign to her current mood. She spotted Kelly, her friend's face bright, several colorful boxes stacked beside her. "Mia." Kelly waved, bouncing on her feet with excitement. "You made it. Are you ready to help?" Before she could respond, a booming voice cut through the conversation, and all heads turned. A tall soldier, dressed in a crisp uniform with a gentle smile, stepped into the room. Gasps of curiosity filled the space, as Mia felt her heart race. This had to be the surprise guest that he began to speak, sharing stories of courage and resilience, but each word felt paralyzing for Mia. She couldn't focus. Her thoughts drifted back to her dad who stood beside her, unwavering and strong. Was this soldier truly like her father? Would they share the same fate? Suddenly, she realized that she was holding her photo tightly. It was almost as if it had become a lifeline, a way to keep herself grounded amidst the chaos of emotions sweeping over her. As the soldier continued his story, Mia felt a pull within her, a yearning to hear more, to understand more. She glanced at her dad, seeing that familiar sparkle of hope mixed with sorrow in his eyes. Then, something unexpected happened. The soldier paused and scanned the crowd, locking eyes with Mia. "I see a brave girl over there," he said, pointing directly at her. "I want you to come up here." Mia froze, her heart pounding wildly. Did he know? Did he sense the whirlwind of emotions hiding behind her brave facade? She looked at her dad, who nodded encouragingly. "Go on. This is your moment." With each step forward, her legs felt heavier, yet her heart began to race for a different reason. What was he going to say to her? Hope clashed with anxiety, propelling her forward. Would today reshape her understanding of courage? As she reached the stage, the soldier's eyes softened. "I want you to know, it's okay to be scared. But never forget you are not alone." And just like that, the air felt charged, pregnant with questions. Would Mia find the strength she needed? What more lay on the horizon, just beyond the moment she stepped into? Mia stood on the stage, the weight of everyone's eyes upon her. The soldier's kind gaze seemed to silently urge her to speak. I just wanted to thank you," she finally managed, her words barely above a whisper. The microphone felt foreign and heavy in her small hands. Suddenly, the entire room stretched around her, engulfing her in an intimate cocoon where her voice felt small yet powerful. "I'm nervous," she admitted, closing her eyes for a fleeting moment. "Sometimes, I just really miss my dad and it feels like nobody understands." A murmur of understanding rippled through the audience. Heads nodded, and some parents exchanged soft, knowing looks. Mia sensed she was not alone. She took a deep breath, ready to dive into the feelings she had kept buried. The soldier stepped closer, encouragingly. "That's brave of you, Mia. Remember, sharing how you feel is a huge part of healing. We're all here together, like a family." The warmth of his words wrapped around her like a soft blanket. "My dad is in the army," she continued, her palms still sweating on the microphone. "He's been gone a while. I just sometimes wonder if he's okay." The soldier nodded slowly, his expression serious but compassionate. "It's normal to worry, sweetheart. That concern means you care deeply. But you should also know that your dad is doing something incredibly important." Mia felt a spark of pride at his words, even if it was mixed with her deep-seated fears. "I've been thinking," she began, surprising herself with her courage. "About doing something to honor him. Like this event. But, what if it's too sad?" A gentle smile crept across the soldier's face. "All emotions matter, Mia. It's okay to feel sad, but honoring our loved ones can also bring happiness and gratitude. You can celebrate their bravery by spreading love and kindness." In that moment, Mia felt an avalanche of emotions lift slightly, leaving behind a lightness she hadn't expected. The thought of honoring her dad didn't have to be just about sadness, it could also be about joy, healing, and connection. "Can I help?" A voice piped up from the audience. Mia turned to see a little boy, maybe a year younger than her, raising his hand eagerly. "I want to help honor my dad too." Slowly, others began to chime in. "Me too. I'll help. Let us make it the best tribute ever." Mia's heart swelled. The moment felt electric, like the first spark of a fire. They all had a shared mission, a reason to be together, transforming individual grief into a collective strength. Bolstered by newfound determination, Mia said, "Why don't we work together? We can create something special for our families, something beautiful." Cheers erupted around the room. People began to rush forward, discussions bubbling with excitement and ideas to make the tribute truly memorable. Mia was swept into a whirlpool of energy, her worries receding like a tide. Everyone seemed engaged, buzzing with creativity. She glanced at the soldier, and he gave her an encouraging nod, as if they shared an unspoken bond. But then, just as Mia was beginning to feel a sense of relief wash over her, the soldier's expression shifted subtly. He leaned closer to her, and in a lower voice, spoke just for her ears. "Mia, I know this is a lot to take in right now, but I want to tell you something important. You have a strength inside you that you don't even know yet." Her heart stumbled. "What do you mean?" Before he could respond, a loud crash echoed from behind the stage. It startled everyone and sent a wave of whispers rippling through the crowd. The soldier turned swiftly, his brows furrowing with concern. What had just happened? Mia's pulse quickened again, uncertainty rushing back in like a storm. Would it be another moment for her to stand strong and brave? Or something that would shake everything she thought she knew? As the tension hung in the air, all eyes turned toward the source of the noise, waiting to see what lay behind that curtain of confusion. The curtain twitched slightly, drawing more than a few gasps from the audience. Mia held her breath, her heart pounding fiercely. It wasn't just the crash, it was the unknown that had everyone on edge. It felt as if the room had become a balloon, filled with anticipation, ready to burst. Suddenly, a figure emerged from behind the curtain. The moment caught in her throat a rush of mixed emotions. The soldier's eyes widened, and she felt his presence beside her, protective and alert. "Mia." The voice rang out, clear yet trembling. Mia's heart paused for a moment when she realized who it was. "Dad?" The word escaped her mouth like the first breath after submerging underwater. There he was, her dad, his uniform emblazoned with the colors she had memorized in photographs. Her mind raced, processing whether this was just an illusion, a dream. He stepped forward, looking worn yet deeply relieved, a mixture of joy and fatigue shadowing his face. The crowd gasped in unison, still grappling to understand the situation. "I'm home," he breathed, taking a moment to scan the room. The joy on his face ignited Mia's own hope. She felt a surge of energy washing over her. Just moments ago, she had been weighed down by uncertainty, and now the world around her felt vibrant again. She rushed forward, instinctively dropping the microphone as she flung her arms around him. The embrace felt familiar yet astonishing, a mix of the warmth of home and the icon of strength she'd admired from afar. "Mia," her dad whispered, his voice thick with emotions. "I'm so proud of you. I saw you just now, talking in front of everyone. You've grown so much." Tears brimmed in her eyes, splashing over her cheeks. "Dad!" she gasped, pulling back to look into his face. "You're here. But I thought I know. I couldn't be there for a long time, but I made it back for this moment," he said, his eyes shining with love. "You were so brave. I heard you and I felt so inspired by you." Now Mia could hardly contain herself. The soldier standing beside her gave them a moment, stepping back to let this family take in its reunion. The crowd erupted into cheers. Someone shouted, "Welcome home," while another added, "Thank you for your service." The energy was electric, running through Mia like a striking bolt of understanding. the pain of absence was worth the joy of reunion, and in that moment, laughter and relief replaced her earlier fears, but as the warmth of happiness encircled her, Mia's gaze flickered back to the soldier. His expression had changed. Was it a touch of sorrow beneath the proud facade? She shook her head, dismissing her worry. She was free to celebrate. "Let us do it together," she suddenly said, breaking away from her dad. She looked at the crowd, her voice steady. "Dad and I, let us create our tribute. For you all, for all our families." The audience was energized. "Yes." Voices chimed, eager to engage again. As they began to brainstorm, an excited hum swelled in the room. Ideas flew about like colorful kites on a windy day, and Mia felt her heart race with optimism. Yet in the back of her mind, that moment with the soldier lingered. There was more he wanted to say, and she felt it like a thread waiting to be pulled. What weight did his words hold? Did it tie back to the strange events behind the curtain? Just as the room began to settle into the search for inspiration, another loud commotion erupted from backstage. The weight of anticipation thickened again, a new question springing forth: what if there was something else to uncover? Mia could feel the tides shifting as she stood between her dad and the soldier, surrounded by a community ready to create, to remember, and even to honor the unknown journeys ahead. What lay just beyond their celebration? Would they uncover deeper connections or hidden truths that could reshape everything? Her heart raced. It seemed the real journey was just beginning. Mia felt adrenaline coursing through her veins as the commotion backstage grew louder. A curious mix of excitement and concern washed over the audience. The happiness of reunion was still fresh, but the air was thickening with uncertainty. What was happening back there? "Dad, wait here," she whispered, stepping back from the warmth of his embrace. The soldier nodded, a shadow of worry passing across his face. Before Mia could question it, she took a deep breath and strode toward the curtain. She felt the eyes of the audience on her, their collective energy urging her forward. As she reached the edge, she caught sight of the stage crew, their faces scrunched in confusion and urgency. "What is going on?" Mia asked, her voice steady, though inside she could feel a whirlwind of emotions battling for control. "It's one of the performers," he heard, one of the stagehands replied, glancing nervously at the sound of frantic footsteps behind the curtain. "We may need a moment to regroup." Her heart dropped. It wasn't just a show anymore, it was real, and the danger hung in the air. Mia's mind raced with images of the soldier, the man she was proud to call Dad, and the words unspoken that still hung like a shadow between them. The soldier stepped forward, a protective instinct igniting in his chest. "I can help," he said. Without waiting for a response, he moved toward the curtain. "Mia, stay here," he called back, but she was already on his heels, her heart thrumming as she spotted the commotion. A dancer had fallen, clutching his ankle. They reached the performer just as he winced in pain, surrounded by concerned friends and crew. "What happened?" Mia asked, urgency making her voice sharp. He groaned, trying to push himself up. "I think I twisted at my ankle. I can't go on." Mia shifted her focus, looking around for solutions, and her eyes caught the soldier's. His presence seemed to bring a wave of calm, even in the turmoil. "Let us get him to the side," Mia said, feeling instinct draw her closer. Together, they and a couple of crew members helped lift the dancer. He grimaced but managed a grateful smile. Mia's mind raced, and in the chaos, she felt the importance of helping overshadow the worry that had crept back in. As they settled him down in the wings, there was another loud noise, a crash of equipment falling. Panic rippled through the backstage as Mia's dad dashed to assess the situation, ensuring no one else was hurt. "Mia, stay focused." Her dad guided her calmly, his voice commanding yet filled with warmth. "We need to keep the audience entertained while we fix this." The buzz of concern shifted back to creativity. "We can do AQA." A voice exclaimed from the crew. "Be honest and share your stories, people will love it." Mia turned to her dad, her eyes alight with the opportunity to showcase bravery beyond the stage. Let us do it. She shouted, inspiration igniting. The soldier nodded, and at that moment, Mia felt the weight of the world shift. Here they were, on the threshold of something deeper, connecting not just as father and daughter, but as a family united in strength. However, just when hope was beginning to spark, an unexpected voice rang through the chaos. Mia! You need to see this. The soldier called out urgently, his face reflecting a sudden seriousness. Her heart raced again, not just at his tone but at the clear message in his eyes. What could he possibly want to show her? What when the unraveling moments were finally laid bare? Mia felt chills down her spine. With every fathom of courage she could summon, she moved toward him. Would she finally get those words? Would this moment reshape everything she thought she understood? With each step, the anticipation crackled in the air. Uncertainty danced in her chest, mingling with the thrill of possibility. What waited just behind the curtain of their newfound connection? Mia stepped through the chaos, drawn in by her dad's intense gaze. His urgency felt like a lifeline, a guiding force through the noise and confusion. She reached him, the weight of the moment settling around them like a thick fog. What is it? She asked, her voice barely a whisper as they moved further away from the frantic backstage that he pointed toward a small table cluttered with phones and extra props. On the table lay a crumpled letter, its edges bent and stained. I found this backstage, he said, scanning the area to make sure no one else was listening. It's addressed to you. Her heart sank, anxiety clawing at her. Who would send her something so personal in a place filled with so much commotion? She took a deep breath and unfolded the letter. As she read, the world around her faded. The words splashed across her mind like raindrops on a window, words of longing, regret, and a story untold. I'm sorry, the letter began. I never got the chance to explain. The handwriting was familiar, but it took a moment for her to place it. Her breath caught in her throat. It was from her mother, the woman she had lost so many years ago. The woman whose memory grew hazy with time but felt so close at that moment. Mia's hands trembled as she continued reading. The letter spoke of battles fought and sacrifices made. It was an apology but also an explanation, the kind of words she had dreamed of hearing since she was a child. A tear rolled down her cheek, and she wiped it away, unable to control the torrent of emotion swelling inside her. Her father noticed. Mia, what does it say? His voice was soothing, but she could sense the urgency behind his question. He was worried for her. It's from Mom, she whispered, struggling to form the words. She wanted me to know that she loved me. She said she was always proud. Each syllable spilled out like a fragile secret. The soldier's face shifted, concern etched deep in his features. This could change everything, he murmured. Are you okay? Mia looked up at him, eyes glistening. I don't know. It's just so much to take in. And yet, she couldn't help but feel sparks of hope lighting the corners of her heart. What if I could find her one day? Just then, the loudspeaker crackled, cutting through their moment. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be starting a Q&A session shortly, the announcer's voice rang out, echoing through the chaos. Her heart raced. Here was the audience's opportunity to connect with her, an avenue for her to share this deeply personal moment, one that could resonate with everyone's own story of loss and love. Dad, can we tell them? Mia asked, her voice shaky but determined. He hesitated, his eyes filled with a mix of pride and fear. Do you think you're ready? She took a steadying breath, the letter still clutched tightly in her hand. Yes. I think I need to, and I want to. He nodded slowly, admiration shining in his eyes. They were on the brink of something profound, a chance to share their truth with the world. The tangled emotions, the hurt, the joy, the bravery were all tangled up together. As she stood up straighter, the weight of her mother's words grounding her, Mia felt as if the invisible strings of her past were finally aligning to form a brighter path ahead. But as she turned back to the curtain, her heart began to race again. Wait, what if there's more to this? She thought, gripping the letter tighter. What if there's a reason why I received this now? With her mind spinning, she stepped into the spotlight, prepared to speak, but a shadow moved at the edge of her vision. Someone was watching, someone familiar yet unexpected. "Mia," her father's voice broke through her swirling thoughts, "your mom, she might not be done just yet." A new wave of uncertainty flooded her, a mixture of fear and curiosity. Could this truly be the start of unraveling the mystery that lay intertwined with her own heart? The audience waited, uncertainty crackling in the air. Mia was left wondering, what awaited her truth? Mia stood at the edge of the stage, holding her mother's letter like a fragile secret. The audience hushed, tension crackling like static in the air. Her heart raced. All the emotions built up from the past weeks felt a delicate balance inside her, swaying between hope and fear. "Are you ready?" her dad asked, watching her closely. In that moment, she saw the same worry mirrored in his eyes. The weight of her decision nearly stole her breath. But she was done holding back. "Yes," Mia breathed, the words steady and resolute. She stepped forward, raising the microphone to her lips. "Hi, everyone. I'm Mia," she spoke, her voice wavering at first. "And I want to share something special with you all." A ripple of curiosity washed over the crowd. "My mom, she passed away a few years ago. But today, I got a letter from her that made me realize I need to embrace my feelings. She told me how much she loved me and was proud of me." Eyes widened and the murmurs of understanding echoed back at her. Mia felt the warmth of her father's gaze behind her, encouraging her to continue. "I've been worried about my dad leaving again. But hearing my mom's words made me realize that love doesn't disappear just because someone is far away. It can be the light guiding us through the dark times." Her chest felt lighter with every word. "I felt scared, but now, I think I can honor both my parents by finding strength. I want to help others like us. And what better way than today?" The room vibrated with energy, heads nodded as shared emotions collided. We can be there for each other. We can be a family, even if we don't all know each other yet. Just like we're doing here. Applause erupted, igniting a spark in Mia's heart. She smiled bright, realizing the excitement wasn't just hers, it encompassed everyone around her. "And, Dad," she added, glancing back at him. "Can we do the tribute together? I want people to share their stories too." Glimmers of pride painted her father's face, and he stepped forward, his voice booming. "Mia has a wonderful idea. Let's create something beautiful, honoring all the families and veterans here today." The crowd erupted again, energy flowing like a wave. Hands shot up as people began to share their own stories, stories of struggle, triumph, love, and loss. The atmosphere shifted from one of uncertainty to a collective celebration of resilience. As Mia listened, each story painted a picture in her mind, a tapestry of interconnected lives woven from shared experiences. She felt she belonged to something larger than herself, and, as the room flooded with voices and laughter, she caught sight of the soldier standing near. He wore a knowing look. "You're doing amazing," he said with a smile. "You, too," she replied, feeling an unexpected bond forming between them. After the last story shared fell softly quiet, Mia turned back to her father. "I can feel that we're going to get through this, Dad." "And we will," he replied, pulling her into a warm embrace. The room felt like a warm blanket, surrounding them both. But as her heart soared, the soldier's shadow grew behind her, shifting slightly. "Mia, if you're up for it, I do have one more surprise." The anticipation was palpable. He moved behind the curtain again, and moments later, a familiar figure emerged. "Kelly." Mia gasped, excitement bubbling. Her friend stepped forward, beaming. "I figured you'd want to see this," she grinned, holding something in her hand. A shiny pin, one decorated with the symbol of courage and honor. "Today is more than a tribute. It's about celebration too," Kelly announced, and the crowd erupted into cheers. Mia's heart swelled. It felt like a mosaic of emotions coming together in perfect harmony. The event had transformed, from a moment tinged with sadness to one bursting with hope and purpose. It crackled with energy. At that moment, she turned to her father. "See. Together, we can face anything." His eyes sparkled with agreement. "We just need to remember that love never truly goes away, it builds us up." Mia nodded, recognizing the truth in his words. With renewed energy, she faced the crowd once more. "Okay, everyone. Let us continue spreading love. Let us honor those who served and let each other know we're not alone." The room erupted in excited chatter, a labor of love unfolding right in front of her. They began to craft care packages, stories and memories exchanged as they created tangible representations of hope, but in the back of her mind, that letter stayed with her, a reminder of where she came from. And if she looked closely, she could see it not as a weight but a guiding star, lighting the path toward healing. She drew courage from it, ready for the unexpected revelations life would bring. Today was just the beginning of something beautiful. And with her father's hand entwined with hers, she reveled in the knowledge that together, they could weather any storm, turn sadness into strength, and fill the world with love. You need to subscribe now to the channel to not miss the next exclusive stories. This is the moment to show your support. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and elevate your experience. Comment your reactions and feelings about the ending. And don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Only true fans understand the importance of supporting the channel through these actions.